I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I find it very, very easy to be true. I find myself alone when each day's through. Yes, I'll admit that I'm a fool for you. Because you're mine, I walk the line. As sure as night is dark and day is light, I keep you on my mind both day and night. And happiness I've known proves that it's right. Because you're mine, I walk the line. You've got a way to keep me on your side. You give me cause for love that I can't hide. For you I know I'd even try to turn the tide. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. Let's pretend that we're together all alone. I'll tell the man to turn the jukebox way down low. And you can tell your friend there with you, he'll have to go. Whisper to me, tell me, do you love me true? Or is he holding you the way I do? Though love is blind, make up your mind, I've got to know. Should I hang up, or will you tell him he'll have to go? You can't say the words I want to hear while you're with another man. Do you want me answer yes or no? Darling, I will understand. Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. Let's pretend that we're together all alone. I'll tell the man to turn the jukebox way down low. And you can tell your friend there with you, he'll have to go.
something up with me. Hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we could find us a brand new recipe? I got a hot rod Ford and a $2 bill, and I know a spot right over the hill. There's soda pop and the dancing's free. So if you wanna have fun, come along with me. Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Time for me. No more looking, I know I've been cooking. How's about keeping steady company? I'm gonna throw my date book over the fence and buy me one for 5 or 10 cents. I'll keep it till it's covered with age, 'cause I'm writing your name down on every page. Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me?
Way up north to Alaska, way up north to Alaska, north to Alaska, go north, the rush is on. North to Alaska, go north, the rush is on. Big Sam left Seattle in the year of 92 with George Pratt, his partner, and brother Billy too. They crossed the Yukon River and found the Bonanza Gold below that old white mountain, just a little southeast of Nome. Sam crossed the majestic mountains to the valleys far below. He talked to his team of huskies as he mushed on through the snow, with the northern lights a-running wild in the land of the midnight sun. Yes, Sam McCord was a mighty man in the year of 1901, where the river is winding, big nuggets they're finding. North to Alaska, go north, the rush is on. Way up north, way up north, north to Alaska, go north, the rush is on. North to Alaska, go north, the rush is on. George turned to Sam with his gold in his hand. Said, Sam, you're looking at a lonely, lonely man. I'd trade all the gold that's buried in this land for one small band of gold to place on sweet little Jenny's hand. 'Cause a man needs a woman to love him all the time. Remember, Sam, a true love is so hard to find. I'd build for my Jenny a honeymoon home below that old white mountain, just a little southeast of Nome, where the river is winding. Big nuggets they're finding. North to Alaska, go north, the rush is on. North to Alaska, go north, the rush is on. Way up north, way up north, way up north, way up north.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. Nighttime would find me in Rose's Cantina. Music would play and Felina would whirl. Blacker than night were the eyes of Felina, wicked and evil while casting a spell. My love was deep for this Mexican maiden. I was in love, but in vain I could tell. One night a wild young cowboy came in, wild as the West Texas wind. Dashing and daring, a drink he was sharing with wicked Felina, the girl that I love. So in anger I challenged his right for the love of this maiden. Down went his hand for the gun that he wore. My challenge was answered in less than a heartbeat. The handsome young stranger lay dead on the floor. Out through the back door of Roses I ran, out where the horses were tied. I caught a good one, it looked like it could run. Up on its back and away I did ride, just as fast as I could from the West Texas town of El Paso out to the badlands of New Mexico. Back in El Paso my life would be worthless. Everything's gone in life, nothing is left. It's been so long since I've seen the young maiden. My love is stronger than my fear of death. I saddled up and away I did go, riding alone in the dark. Maybe tomorrow a bullet may find me. Tonight nothing's worse than this pain in my heart. And at last here I am on the hill overlooking El Paso. I can see Rose's Cantina below. My love is strong and it pushes me onward. Down off the hill to Felina I go. Off to my right I see 5 mounted cowboys. Off to my left, right, a dozen or more. Shouting and shooting, I can't let them catch me. I have to make it to Rose's back door. Something is dreadfully wrong, for I feel a deep burning pain in my side. Though I am trying to stay in the saddle, I'm getting weary, unable to ride. But my love for Felina is strong, and I rise where I've fallen. Though I am weary, I can't stop to rest. I see the white puff of smoke from the rifle. I feel the bullet go deep in my chest. From out of nowhere, Felina has found me, kissing my cheek as she kneels by my side. Cradled by 2 loving arms that I'll die for. One little kiss and Felina, goodbye.
Fairly Ferlin has a great spiritual that we'd like to do for you folks now. Ferlin, do you suppose it would bother anything if all of us joined in with you?
Well, I wouldn't want to do it unless all of you helped me.
All right, then. We're ready when you are.
On the wings of the snow white dove, he sends his pure, sweet love, a sign from above. On the wings of the dove, when troubles surround us, when evils come, the body grows weak, the spirit grows numb. When these things beset us, he doesn't forget us. He sends down his love on the wings of a dove, on the wings of a snow white dove. He sends his pure, sweet love, a sign from above, on the wings of a dove. When Noah had drifted on the flood many days, he searched for land, in various ways. Troubles he had some, but wasn't forgotten. He sent him his love on the wings of a dove, on the wings of the snow white dove. He sends his pure, sweet love, a sign from above, on the wings of a dove, on the wings of a dove, on the wings of a dove.
And you made it, too. I guarantee you that. I'm sure everybody enjoyed that, Ferlin. I sure did.
I did too, but I was so used to people applauding that I thought they was going to clap first.
Well, you know how it is. The reason they didn't do that is because we're running out of time.
Oh, well, I know they was
where the
doing it
old
on
conference
rehearsals.
wall. I see where they've moved.
Where is that?
Thank you, Ferlin, for driving by this
Thank
time.
you, T.
Come back
Had a
see
good
us.
time.
Come back see us real soon.
Speak well of me. If you have to lie, I'll do the same for you.
All right, Dad.
Can I leave
Thank
you with
sir.
a laugh?
Yes, by all means. Oh, goodness sake.
I try so hard, my dear, to show that you're my every dream. Yet you're afraid each thing I do is just some evil scheme. A memory from your lonesome past keeps us so far apart. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? Another love before my time made your heart sad and blue. And so my heart is paying now for things I didn't do. In anger, unkind words are said that make the teardrops start. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? You'll never know how much it hurts to see you sit and cry. You know you need and want my love, yet you're afraid to try. Why do you run and hide from life? To try it just ain't smart. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? There was a time when I believed that you belonged to me, but now I know your heart is shackled to a memory. the more I learn to care for you, the more we drift apart. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart?
Say
Some people say a man is made out of mud. A poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood and skin and bones. A mind that's weak and a back that's strong. You load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. I was born one morning when the sun didn't shine. I picked up my shovel and I walked to the mine. I loaded 16 tons of number 9 coal, and the straw boss said, well, to bless my soul, you load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. I was born one morning, it was drizzling rain. Fighting and trouble are my middle name. I was raised in the canebrake by an old mama lion. Can't no high-toned woman make me walk the line. You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. If you see me coming, better step aside. A lot of men didn't, a lot of men died. One fist of iron, the other of steel. If the right one don't get you, then the left one will. You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
Last night was the worst night of my life, no doubt. 'Cause while I stayed at home, someone else took you out. I cried 'cause I love you with all of my might. And I missed me, how I missed me at your house last night. I missed holding hands, walking out on your lawn. I miss the sweet kiss that was mine for so long. Were you happy with new arms wrapped around you so tight? I missed me, how I missed me at your house last night. Did the neighbors say they noticed anything strange, like a different car parked in your drive for a change? Did they watch as he kissed you beneath the porch light? Did they miss me like I missed me at your house last night? I missed holding hands, walking out on your lawn. I missed the sweet kiss that was mine for so long. Were you happy with new arms wrapped around you so tight? I missed me, how I missed me at your house last night.
Heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. Every day you love me less, each day I love you more. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, a love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my world will end. Heartache number one was when you left me. I never knew I could hurt this way. And heartache number two was when you came back again. You came back but never meant to stay. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. Every day you love me less, each day I love you more. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, a love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my world will end. Heartache number three was when you called me and said that you were coming back to stay. With hopeful heart I waited for you, knocked on the door. I waited but you must have lost your way. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. Every day you love me less, each day I love you more. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, a love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my world will end.
But all sweethearts do.
I gave my love to prove to you that I would always love you and be true. I know you've met somebody new. You tell me you and I are through.
coat and a pink carnation. I'm all dressed up for the dance. A white sport coat and a pink carnation. I'm all alone in romance. Once you told me long ago, to the prom with me you'd go. Now you've changed your mind, it seems. Someone else will hold my dreams. A white sport coat and a pink carnation. And in a blue, blue moon. A white sport coat and a pink carnation. I'm all dressed up for the dance. A white sport coat and a pink carnation. I'm all alone in romance. Once you told me long ago, to the prom with me you'd go. Now you've changed your mind, it seems. Someone else will hold my dreams. A white sport coat and a pink carnation. I'm in a blue, blue mood.
You didn't love me long until the thrill was gone. Then another made me your old used to be. How long can her love last when the new wears off so fast? There'll always be another, then another, and another just like me. Just like me, she'll understand the sorrow of loving you today and losing you tomorrow. I'd warned her, but she'd call it jealousy. So let her be another, then another, and another just like me. Now you'll go anywhere for a brand new love affair. Somebody new who thrills you instantly. When the thrill has ceased to chill, and from the past I know it will, there'll always be another, then another, and another just like me. Just like me, she'll understand the sorrow of loving you today
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. Let's pretend that we're together all alone. I'll tell the man to turn the jukebox way down low. And you can tell your friend there with you, he'll have to go. Whisper to me, tell me, do you love me true? Or is he holding you the way I do? Though love is blind, make up your mind, I've got to know. Should I hang up, or will you tell him he'll have to go? You can't say the words I want to hear while you're with another man. Do you want me answer yes or no? Darling, I will understand. Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. Let's pretend that we're together all alone. I'll tell the man to turn the jukebox way down low. And you can tell your friend there with you, he'll have to go.
I asked Hank Snow if he wrote I'm Moving On. He said, yes, I wrote it all. That big 8-wheel rolling down the track means your true loving daddy ain't coming back. I'm moving on, I'll soon be gone. You were flying too high for my little old sky, so I'm moving on.
That big loud whistle as it blew and blew said hello to the Southland. We're coming to you and we're moving on. Oh, hear my song. You had to laugh for me, so I'm setting you free, so keep moving on.
Mr. Fireman, won't you please listen to me, 'cause I got a birdie mama in Tennessee. Keep moving me on, keep rolling on. So shovel the coal and let's just rattle and roll and keep moving on.
Mr. Engineer, take that throttle in hand. This rattler's the fastest in the southern land. Keep you moving me on, keep you rolling on. You're gonna ease my mind and put me there on time. Keep rolling on.
I've warned you, baby, from time to time, but you just wouldn't listen or pay me no mind, so I'm moving on, I'm rolling on. You have broken your vow and it's all over now, so I'm moving on. You switched your engine, now I ain't got time for a trifling woman on my main line, so I'm moving on. You done your daddy wrong. I've warned you twice that you can settle the price, 'cause I'm moving on. But someday, baby, when you had your way, you're gonna want your daddy, but your daddy will say, keep moving on. Stayed away too long. I'm through with you, too bad you're blue, keep moving on.
To the town of Alfrea rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip, and he's here to do some business with a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. In this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men had tried to take him, and that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more, 1 in 19 more. Now the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. Was an Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead, and he said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red, after Texas Red. Wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry, men that tried before were dead. 20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 would be the ranger with the big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip.
The morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to meet. It was 11 when they walked out in the street. Folks were watching from the windows, everybody held their breath. They knew this handsome ranger was about to meet his death, about to meet his death. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the ranger is still talked about today. Texas red, not cleared leather, for a bullet fairly ripped. And the ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. It was over in a moment and the folks had gathered round. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have went on living, but he made one fatal slip when he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. Big iron, big iron, when he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, but what a thrill. Getting in this wreck is just quitting balls of fire. I let the love all I thought it was funny. You came along and you moved me, honey. I changed my mind, look fine. Goodness gracious, just quitting balls of fire. Should. You're fine, so kind. I'm under this world that you're mine. I took my nerves and I put on my fine. I'm real nervous, but it sure is fun. Come on, baby, it drives me crazy. The goodness gracious, with balls of fire.
Jerry Lee Lewis can blow Chuck Berry right off of that stage.
Why do I have to go on before him?
Because he's had 6 #1 hits and you've had only 2 in the top 10.
Well, who's got the #1 record right now? You.
My point exactly.
He should go on before me.
Can't. It's in his contract that he closes a show.
Okay, Cat. This way you want it.
Well, kiss me, baby. Ooh, it feels good. Hold me, baby. I want to love you like a lover should. You're fine, so kind. I got to tell this world that you're mine. I chew my nails and I tremble my thumb. I'm real nervous because the show is fun. Come on, baby, drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, quit balls of fire.
killer.
I don't believe you love me anymore. Lately you've been acting strange to me. Somehow it's not the way it used to be. You're doing things you never dared to do before. And I don't believe you love me anymore. I felt your love grow colder day by day. When I try to hold you close, you turn away. There must be someone else you're longing for. And I don't believe you love me anymore. Greener pastures now you think you found. But what will happen when the grass turns brown? I'm hearing things on you I've never heard before. And I don't believe you love me anymore. I felt your love grow colder day by day. When I try to hold you close, you turn away. There must be someone else you're longing for. And I don't believe you love me anymore. No, I don't believe you love me anymore.
And the storm's brewing in this heart of mine. This ain't no crazy dream, I know that it's real. You're someone else's love now, you're not mine. Somebody new. For my yearning heart keeps saying you're not mine. My troubled mind knows soon to another you'll be with. And that's why I'm lonely all the time. Treasured dreams I had for you and me, and take all the love I thought was mine. Someday my crazy arms may hold somebody new, but now I'm so lonely all the time. Somebody new. For my yearning heart keeps saying you're not mine. My
had made just yesterday. Now there's someone else who's here, he'll have to stay. I have found another love I know is true, and he holds me much more tenderly than you. Loving you's not worth the price I have to pay. Someone else is in your place, he'll have to stay. Once I loved you with all my heart, but now I must say no. You broke my heart too many times, so now you have to go. I can hear the jukebox playing soft and low, and you're out again with someone else I know. My love was blind, I'm not your kind, that's all I'll say. So you can hang up, I'm in his arms, he'll have to stay.
Well, I never felt more like singing the blues, 'cause I never thought that I'd ever lose your love, dear. Why'd you do me this way? Well, I never felt more like crying all night, 'cause everything's wrong and nothing ain't right without you. You got me singing the blues. The moon and stars no longer shine. The dream is gone I thought was mine. There's nothing left for me to do but cry over you. But, well, I never felt more like running away. But why should I go? 'Cause I couldn't stay without you. You got me singing the blues. Singing the blues, 'cause I never thought that I'd ever lose your love, dear. Why'd you do me this way? Well, I never felt more like crying all night, 'cause everything's wrong and nothing ain't right without you. You got me singing the blues. Oh, the moon and stars no longer shine. The dream is gone I thought was mine. There's nothing left for me to do but cry over you. Cry over you. But, well, I never felt more like running away. But why should I go? 'Cause I couldn't stay without you. You got me singing the blues.
She's just a fallen angel, and I'm the fool who made her fall. Last night I saw an angel, the one I once called mine. The hand that wore my wedding band held a glass of wine. I took her love for granted, I wronged her night and day. I drove my angel from me, and now she's gone astray. She's just a fallen angel, but I don't blame her for it all. She's just a fallen angel, and I'm the fool who made her fall. So many times she told me she couldn't take much more. So many times I laughed at her and walked right out the door. I wasn't worthy of her, and now my angel's gone. The devil took her from me and claimed her for his own. She's just a fallen angel, but I don't blame her for it all. She's just a fallen angel, and I'm the fool who made her fall.
I went down to the river to watch the fish swim by. But I got to the river so lonesome I wanted to die, oh Lord. And then I jumped in the river, but the doggone river was dry. She's long gone, and now I'm lonesome blue. I had me a woman who couldn't be true. She made me for my money and she made me blue. A man needs a woman that he can lean on, but my leaning post is done left and gone. She's long gone, and now I'm lonesome blue. I'm gonna find me a river, one that's cold as ice. And when I find me that river, Lord, I'm gonna pay the price, oh Lord. I'm going down in it 3 times, but Lord, I'm only coming up twice. She's long gone, and now I'm lonesome blue. She told me on Sunday she was checking me out. Along about Monday she was nowhere about. And here it is Tuesday, ain't had no news. I got them gone, but not forgotten blue. She's long gone, and now I'm lonesome blue.
Sweet dreams of you every night I go through. Why can't I forget you and start my life anew instead of having sweet dreams about you? You don't love me, it's plain. I should know
true. Instead of having sweet dreams about you. Sweet dreams of you, dreams I know can't come true. How can I forget the past, start loving someone new, instead of having sweet dreams about you.
Born on a mountain in Tennessee, greenest state in the land of the free. Raised in the woods so's he knew every tree. He killed him a bar when he was only 3. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. Fought single-handed through the Injun War, till the creeks was whipped and the peace was in store. And while he was a-handlin' this risky chore, made hisself a legend forevermore. Davy Crockett, the man who don't know fear. When he lost his love, his grief was gall. In his heart, he wanted to leave it all and lose hisself in the forest tall. But he answered instead his country's call. Davy Crockett, the choice of the whole frontier. He went off to Congress and served a spell, fixing up the government and laws as well. Took over Washington, so I've heard tell, and patched up a crack in the Liberty Bell. Davy Crockett, seeing his duty clear. When he came home, his politicking done, why the big Western March had just begun. So he packed his gear and his trusty gun, and lit out a grinning to follow the sun. Davy Crockett, leading the pioneer. His land is the biggest, his land is the best, from grassy plains to the mountain crest. He's ahead of us all and meeting the test, and a-following his legend right into the west. Davy Crockett, the king of the wild frontier. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
I've been living a new way of life that I love so, but I can see the clouds are getting and the storm will wreck our home. For last night he held you tightly, and you didn't even show. This is true, for I've been watching you from the window up above. You must have thought that I was sleeping, and I wish that I had been. But I guess it's best to know you and the way your heart can sing. I thought we belonged together, and our hearts fit like a glove. I was wrong, for I'd been watching you from the window up above. The teardrops started as I listened on and on. I heard you whisper to him softly that our marriage was all wrong. But I hope he makes you happy, and you will never lose his love. I was wrong, I was watching you from the window up above. How I wish I could be dreaming and wake up to an honest love. I was wrong, for I was watching you from the window up above.
when all your loves have ended, when all your friends have flown, who'll be around to want you when all your loves have gone? Only a fool would do it after the way you've done. But how many fools would have you? I know one. This fool keeps wondering why he fell in love at all. But you might need this fool around in case you fall. After the party's over and you've had your fill of fun, if you need a fool to forgive you, I know one. You never know, you might be lonely when all your loves have missed. It wouldn't hurt to keep an extra fool on your list. After your heart's been broken and it needs a place to run, if you'll take a fool who loves you, I know one. Yes, I know one. I know one.
Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams.
We learned this song, Irene, from a friend of ours. His name was Hughie Ledbetter. He called himself Leadbelly, king of the 12-string guitar. Some people thought he was the greatest folk singer that ever lived in America. We knew him best as a rememberer of folk songs, and he taught us dozens of them, especially Irene. This was his theme song, and he sang it for over 30 years before he died. Well, he died before Irene got to be known to so many millions of Americans. Hughie had a hard and wonderful life. It's over now, but his songs are still very much alive.
Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Last Saturday night I got married. Me and my wife settled down. Now me and my wife are parting. I'm gonna take another stroll downtown. Well, Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams.
Sometimes I live in the country. Sometimes I live in town. Sometimes I take a great notion to jump into the river and drown.
Well, Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams.
Stop rambling. Stop your gambling. Stop staying out late at night. Go home to your wife and family. Stay there by your fireside bright.
Well, Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. you in my dreams.
I've got my angel on my mind, that's why I'm walking. There's such an ache in this old heart, now I ain't talking. The little hand that held mine tight just waved goodbye tonight. I've got her sweet love on my mind, that's why I'm walking. With an old love on your mind, life's not worth living. I breathe her name with every breath I'm breathing. Why could I never see how much she meant to me? I've got her sweet love on my mind, that's why I'm walking. With an old love on your mind, life's not worth living. I breathe her name with every breath I'm breathing. Why could I never see how much she meant to me? I've got her sweet love on my mind, that's why I'm walking. I've got my angel on my mind, that's why I'm walking.
When my baby moved out and the blues moved in, there wasn't nothing I could do but mosey around with my head in my hands. Lord, what am I coming to? I just keep moaning, moaning the blues. I wrote a nice long letter, said, Mama, please come home. Your daddy is lonesome, and all I do is moan. I've been loving that gal for so doggone long, I can't afford to lose her now. I thought I was right, but I must have been wrong, 'cause my head is starting to bow, and now I'm moaning, moaning the blues. If you want a good gal to stay around, you gotta treat her nice and kind. If you do her wrong, she'll leave this town, and you'll almost lose your mind, and you'll be moaning, moaning the blues. Oh, baby, 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 honey, baby, please come home. Your daddy is lonesome, and all I do is moan. I promise you, baby, that I'll be good, and I'll never be bad no more. I'm sitting here waiting for you right now to walk through that front door. Then I'll stop moaning, moaning the blues.
Am I losing you? Are my fears coming true? How I wish I knew. Am I losing you? Is your love really true? Is there somebody new? Tell me what to do. Am I losing you? Am I too blind to see what's been happening to me? Every road has a bend. Will I be sweetheart or friend? Will the sweet things you do be for somebody new? Tell me what to do. Am I losing you?
Am I too blind to see what's been happening to me?
Every road has a bend. Will I be sweetheart or friend? Will the sweet things you do be for somebody new? Tell me what to do. Am I losing you?
Well, a hard-headed woman, a soft-hearted man, been the cause of trouble ever since the world began. Oh yeah, ever since the world began. A hard-headed woman, been a thorn in the side of man. Adam told Eve, listen here to me. Don't you let me catch you messing around that apple tree. Oh yeah, ever since the world began. A hard-headed woman, been a thorn in the side of man. Loud and clear, I'll keep your cotton picking fingers out my curly hair. Oh yeah, ever since the world began. A hard-headed woman been a thorn in the side of man. I heard about a king who was doing swell till he started playing with that evil Jezebel. Oh yeah, ever since the world began. A hard-headed woman been a thorn in the side of man. A king who was doing swell till he started playing with that evil Jezebel. Oh yeah, ever since the world began. A hard-headed woman been a thorn in the side of man. I heard about a king who was doing swell till he started playing with that evil Jezebel. Oh yeah, ever since the world began.
Wishing I could see you again, dear. That the fire of love would burn once more.
just thinking how you once kissed me, wishing that it hadn't meant goodbye. But I guess that's wishful thinking. Now I know why some people cry. I'll just live my life in dreams and long for your love. It's you I'm wishing for, and it's you I'm thinking of. My heart echoes the love words you've spoken. How I wish I could hear them from you. Won't you answer a heart that is broken, and to make my wishful thinking come true? My heart echoes the love words you've spoken. How I wish I could hear them from you. Won't you answer a heart that is broken, and make my wishful thinking come true?
Hold me close, hold me tight, make me thrill with delight. Let me know where I stand from the start. I want you, I need you, I love you with all my heart. Every time that you're near, all my cares disappear. Darling, you're all that I'm living for. I want you, I need you, I love you more and more. I thought I could live without romance until you came to me. But now I know that I will go on loving you eternally. Won't you please be my own? Never leave me alone, 'cause I die every time we're apart. I want you, I need you, I love you with all my heart. Well, I thought I could live without romance until you came to me. But now I know that I will go on loving you eternally. Won't you please be my own? Never leave me alone, 'cause I die every time we're apart. I want you, I need you, I love you with all my
Will I ever get used to being your old used to be? I watched you walk away from me so long ago. I didn't know I loved you when I let you go. And just to think that I'm the one who set you free. Will I ever get used to being your old used to be? I've gotten used to people's stares as I walk by. I keep my head bowed low so they can't see me cry. They say there goes a man who lives in memory. Will I ever get used to being your old used to be? I've got no one to help me pass these lonely days. When nighttime comes, I just can't keep the blues away. For in my dreams, your lovely face is all I see. Will I ever get used to being your old used to be? I've gotten used to people's stares as I walk by. I keep my head bowed low so they can't see me cry. They say there goes a man who lives in memory. Will I ever get used to being your old used to be?
Train I ride, 16 coaches long. Train I ride, 16 coaches long. Well, that long black train got my baby and gone. Train, coming round the bend. Train, coming round the bend. Well, it took my baby, but it never will again. No, not again. Train, coming down the line. Train, coming down the line. Well, it's bringing my baby, 'cause she's my all mine. She's my all mine. Train, coming round the bend. Train, coming round the bend. Well, it took my baby, but it never will again. Never will again.
It seems that you don't love me. It seems your arms have grown cold. I've got to know, do you want me, or have you found a new love to hold? I believe deep down you will hurt me, while with all my heart I pray no. Darling, will you stay or will you leave? Don't say it, don't tell me, I think I know. I'm a fool, I shouldn't ask foolish questions, but I can't bear to see you go. You don't have to answer foolish questions. Don't say it, don't tell me, I think I know. Is tonight the night? Is it over? Have my fears blossomed to come true? I knew without ever asking that someday your sweet love I'd lose. Could it be that you won't desert me? With all my heart I pray no. Darling, will you stay or will you leave? Don't say it, don't tell me, I think I know.
I forgot to remember to forget her. I can't seem to get her off my mind. I thought I'd never miss her, but I found out somehow. I think about her almost all the time. The day she went away, I made myself a promise that I'd soon forget we're ever met. But something sure is wrong, 'cause I'm so blue and lonely, I forgot to remember to forget. The day she went away,
I made myself a promise that I'd soon forget with every man. Well, but something sure is wrong, 'cause I'm so blue and lonely I forgot to remember to forget.